Administration is defined as the art and science of planning, organizing, leading, and controlling the work of others to achieve defined objectives and goals. The church is an organic institution with members. The role of church's administration is guidance and direction as needed. However, this can seem an awfully lot like herding cats. The pastor is responsible for taking care of the congregational members as best as one can, and a large part of the pastor's work will be meetings, paperwork, business encounters, and so forth. This is where the benefits and importance of maintaining a healthy and effective church administration comes to light. Let's look at the text, Creating Efficiency for Effective Ministry Church Administration. The book is divided into 12 chapters and 66 subsections. Rather than looking at every subsection individually, we will be doing a brief overview of the 12 chapters. Since this is a survey of the text and not an in-depth study of the text, not every detail on the sections will be covered in this video. Chapter 1. An Introduction to Administration. These subsections explore the biblical foundation for organization by focusing on the story of Moses. You will also discover and discuss the 4 major schools of philosophy of management: the scientific school, the human behavior school, management process school, and quantitative school. From there, the reader will gain an understanding of historical foundations for administration theory, learn terms and definitions used in administration, and discuss the role and purpose of administration in the local church. Chapter 2. The Basics for Administration. This section explores the dynamics and relationships between planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. What do each of these aspects of administration entail and hope to accomplish? Since we now have begun to talk about leadership, the book provides the 3 theories of leadership: trait theories, situational theories, and the behavioral theories. These theories of leadership help better explain the styles and characteristics of an administration of a leader. Since you will be potentially leading the administration, which category do you fall under? These theories help us better understand what kind of leaders we are and what kind of leader we want to be. Chapter 3. Documents for Administration. One of the best pieces of advice you will hear about documenting is always leave a paper trail. These sections focus on creating or revising the church's operational manuals. This manual will include the hierarchy of authority, structural organization, and administration roles and responsibilities. Other documents discussed will be the Constitution and bylaws of the church. This is in conjunction with the New Horizons Ministries Manual and bylaws, as well as the IPHC Manual and bylaws, and what the process for having any of these changed entails. How does the church become incorporated, or file a 501c3, or tax-exempt organization? This has advantages and disadvantages, and the text explains these pros and cons very well. You should also gain an understanding of policies and procedures provided by the manuals of operation. By doing this, you will enable the church to identify her stance on what they believe and provide documentation for any questions other people or organizations may have concerning these benefits and how the church acts upon these stances. Chapter 4. Organizing the church. In the history of the church, there have been various forms of polity, or forms of government. The 4 main ones historically are the monarchical, Episcopalian, Presbyterian, and Congregational. Each of these have their place within the organizational structure of the church. This governmental choice can be influenced by style, size, or function. Whichever polity the church selects, this affects the philosophy of the staff and the staff organization, as well as their job descriptions, which would include their functions, qualifications, and requirements. Please refer to Robert's Rules of Order as a supplemental text to this book in the sections covering committees, councils, and ministry teams. Chapter 5. Administering Personnel Resources. These sections cover the philosophy of personnel management. The creation of a personnel committee may be of great benefit to the church administration. The personnel committee becomes responsible for complying with all legal requirements and church policy and procedures, all of which should be documented in the personnel manual, which should explain the hiring and firing process and provide example documents like contracts. An additional responsibility of the personnel committee would be in establishing a work environment that is healthy and safe, and on the other side, establish a salary plan and compensation procedures. Finally, the Personnel Committee would create an evaluation system to measure work performance. Chapter 6. Administering Financial Resources. Money matters to God, so it should matter to us how it is stewarded. The ultimate goal is to develop a theology for financial management in the church. This is presented in the financial manual, which would include the policies and procedures for fiscal operations by the creation of the Finance Committee, who would oversee budget operations, healthy ethics in money counting and accountability, as well as staying up to date on the current software and financial publications designed specifically for churches. Chapter 7. Administering the physical resources. Of the most underutilized aspects of vocational ministry is the usage of the church building itself. Other than Sunday and Wednesday services, most are left asking the question, what do we do with the church building? These sections focus on answering the questions, how to organize the facility management, determining who is responsible for what, the importance of establishing a church facility manual, and designating personnel roles from facility supervisor to the custodian. By creating a facility space plan, you'll be able to know the dimensions of your building and what rooms will be used for what, from Sunday school classrooms to training rooms for workers and volunteers, all while recognizing and adhering to the Americans with a Disability Act of 1990. Chapter 8. Administering the staff. The church is only as good as its staff. This section focuses on the number of positions needed to effectively run the church, from office administration, including the receptionist and secretary, to the establishing of the church office procedure manual and desk manual for each office position. It is vital that the staff of the church office be trained in workplace ethics, communication, and their vocational or volunteer responsibilities and expectations. Chapter 9. Administering risk management. These sections focus on two aspects of church administration. The first is safety. This includes making sure the church is up to building codes, environmental laws, lighting and energy expenses. The second is security. This would include alarm systems, outdoor lighting, and using common sense. Both safety and security also include issues of insurance and who watches and manages the keys. Chapter 10. Administering planning activities. Earlier, we addressed the mission and purpose statement of the church. All activities and ministries within the church will ultimately fall under the mission and purpose statement. These sections cover how to implement the mission and purpose statement in long-term strategic planning as you seek to accomplish your mission statement. This includes planning for building and expansion, as well as developing a master plan and the phases that would need to be included in the structural evolution of your facilities. Chapter 11. Administering program activities. Recognizing the various types of programming activities in the church will help you identify the various responsibilities and organizational needs to ensure that each program adheres to the mission and purpose statement of the church, while also fulfilling the desired goal of each program. The text breaks down all program activities into 4 areas. Worship, which includes decorations, greeters, welcome centers, ushers, the ordinances, and the music. Discipleship, which includes creating an organizational chart that illustrates not only the structure of the church discipleship programs, but also should measure the individual maturation of the Christian. Evangelism, which includes recognizing prospective members and going to them. And ministry, fellowship, missions, which includes life inside and outside the church walls. By providing a clear presentation of the various activities offered by the church, churches should be able to recognize where members can participate both inside and outside the church walls as a member of the congregation. Chapter 12. Administering support activities. This last chapter really is a catch-all of the various programs and activities that don't fall under any one of the particular administration categories. These sections include pastoral support, educational support, music support, and administrational support. After reading and studying this book, you should be able to do the following. Identify and recognize the importance of administrational and organizational structures within the church. Analyze your church's current administrational effectiveness. Assess and implement appropriate administrations of change where needed. And prepare you for administrational responsibilities, including how to teach, train, and implement appropriate administrational ethics and practices to your staff, volunteers, and the congregation. This book was selected by the IPHC and NHM Schools of Ministry for the following reasons. The author, Robert H. Welch, is a leading expert on church administration and organizational structure. His military background sports him a unique perspective on the efficiency needed to run a well-oiled machine, to use an old colloquialism. The text is practical, easy to understand, incredibly thorough, and exhaustive in its insight, wisdom, and preparation for all those who are beginning their vocational career in church administration. In addition to the Creating Efficiency for Effective Ministry Church Administration workbook, you have an additional assignment. Write at least a one-page essay in Times New Roman, double-spaced at 12-point font on the following topic. Chart your church's administrational flowchart of leadership and organizational structure. This could be done using symbols and shapes or in the basic written format. This has been course MCP 3.06 in the Ordination Level 2 Credentialing Series. Upon watching this course, please read the assigned text, complete the workbook, and type your essay. Please print the essay and place it in the back of your workbook. The next course will be over the text, Robert's Rules of Order. Blessings, and study to show yourself approved.